On this episode of Hudson Valley Hustle, I'm joined by Jose Marti, owner and sensei of Marti Martial Arts Academy. Jose's been in business for over 20 years, and in this episode, you'll learn why he got started in martial arts and really just how much he loves doing what he does. Everybody should try to be like Jose. Enjoy the episode. I have had one experience with martial arts as a kid.
Okay.
Right? So I was a huge Power Rangers fan as a kid.
Nice.
Right? So 90s kid, Power Rangers came up. Who didn't want to do karate at that point, right?
Right.
I took a class, and I have a younger sister, right? I took a class, loved it, fell in love with it. Parents kicked me out of it because I was practicing the moves on my little sister.
Ooh.
So
yeah,
I was
messed up.
And that was the end of that. That was my one experience with that. And it's I kind of regret not going back to it.
Sure.
So what's your background in it? How did you get into martial arts in general?
Wow, 1973. And growing up in Brooklyn.
Okay.
It was about self-defense, really.
Okay.
So my father put me in Kung Fu at the time. And he made a lot of sacrifice for me. He would work in Manhattan, come back, get me in Brooklyn, and go back on the subway and take me to train in Kung Fu.
Wow.
But it was more for self-defense. And at the time, I didn't really see so much value in it. I just wanted to watch the Bugs Bunny shows and Godzilla, But he made me do it, and I'm grateful that he did. And so many times I wanted to quit. He goes, "No, you got to keep going."
Yeah, it's a discipline, right? It's like anything. Yeah. But I feel why is it that with martial arts, I feel like the guys and girls that I hear doing martial arts, they have almost more discipline than another type of physical activity. Is that just part of the philosophy of it?
I believe so. Something you can do your whole life.
Okay.
So
is it really you can?
You can. I mean, you may have to adjust a little bit as you get older. I'm almost 60 now, so
yeah.
So you may have to adjust certain things. You can't do the same like you did when you were 15.
Sure.
But you could do it your whole life, and it's good for physical fitness, mental discipline, and the camaraderie of being with other people. Mm-hmm. It's really cool.
Do you do group classes, or is it one-on-one, or both?
Both.
Nice.
Both.
What's more common?
Group.
Is it really?
Yeah, group classes. I do karate, I do jujitsu, kickboxing, and weapons training.
Okay.
Yeah, so you do all four disciplines.
How has it grown in the last, I don't know, however many years? I mean, you've been in business for over 20 years, but how has martial arts it grown? I think with things like, things like MMA and UFC and stuff like that, has it kind of fed the beast a little bit? And
sometimes the entertainment does feed it a bit, but I haven't seen it that much where I am.
Okay.
Sometimes people would come and say, "Oh, I saw Cobra Kai and I want to try, martial arts," or
Power Rangers.
Or if it was the '80s, then the Karate Kid movie really gave a lot of business to martial arts.
Gotcha. So pop culture can kind of influence it a little bit for sure.
Yeah.
Ninja Turtles, I remember.
I do all those weapons actually.
Do you really?
Yeah.
What's your favorite? Who's your favorite Ninja Turtle?
I like all of them. I like the sai. I do a lot of sai. I like the bow. The bow is cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What discipline is that?
We're doing the style from Okinawa called Yamani Ryu, which is the Okinawan weaponry.
Gotcha.
So which has the bow, nunchucks, kama, sai, and the tonfa.
Okay.
And I also do kung fu weapons, which are like spear, sword, and things like that.
That's fun, man.
So it's a little bit different.
That's fun. It's got to keep you young, though, right?
Yeah, it keeps me active. I spar with the little kids, and we have fun. Yeah, they beat me, but I have fun with them anyway.
That's great. That's great. So 23 years in business. Yes. Have you always been in the same spot, or have you moved around a little bit?
Same spot.
That's wild.
Yes, same
really?
Spot. Yeah, same spot.
No kidding. So things have been going.
Yeah, we have a good landlord. He's very fair, nice person, and the COVID made it a little bit difficult.
Sure.
So that was the big, the big drop for a while.
Yeah. But if you survive that,
we keep going. Good. But I love doing it, so I try to find a way.
Yeah, that's
I love
great.
doing that, and I have an art studio because I'm an artist also.
Okay.
So inside I have an art studio.
Oh, no way.
So I do two things.
It's all arts. Why is it called martial arts? Where's the arts side of things?
Well, it is like an art form. Like even dance is an art form. Even art or singing, that's an art form. Or acting, it's a form of expression. Mm-hmm. So martial arts is a form of expression. It's also a discipline. It's also a self-defense. Mm-hmm. It's also could be a sport, competition, Olympics. You see it in the Olympics.
Sure.
So it has so many different facets, you know. For me, I just love to help people. I love to see kids grow and develop and have, you know, their life better because they trained. And I say, wow, I had a small impact in that child's life or adult, you know.
Yeah. Have you ever had somebody come to you and say that that they're just going back to the self-defense aspect of things, which is kind of why you got into it originally, unbeknownst to you as a kid. But like, have you ever had somebody come to you and be like, hey, you know, thank you, my training has come in handy? You know what I'm saying? Like, has that ever happened?
I can't say anybody. It may be kids defending themselves a little bit in school, but nothing like serious.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
And I think because we're in a safer area, people don't experience that as much.
Sure.
Maybe when I was, you know, in Brooklyn and Queens and Bronx, there was a little bit more. You had to fight.
Yeah, right.
You know, like almost every day, you know, you have to fight and protect yourself.
Did you experience that?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I experienced that. You know, I had guns in my face and
really
situations like that. Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah, it's wild.
That's wild.
I've had to fight on the subway, not voluntarily, you know, just try to defend myself. Kind of thing, you know. So, you know, those are not things that you look forward to, but they do happen where you are, you know, depending where you are. You know, now I'm blessed. You know, I could leave my house any time of the day or night, and nobody's going to bother me. Nobody's going to even bat an eyelash. You know.
Yeah.
You could wear a gold chain, and they don't care. You know.
Sure. Do you does it feel like almost like an insurance policy though in the back of your mind to know that if something ever happened, like you could do it? I just feel like
like thank God you have that skill, but you try not to have to use it.
Right. Of course.
You try to use your mind. You know, run. You know, get away from it. You know, we don't want to get into things. You know.
Of course.
It's like almost a lose-lose situation.
Sure.
You know, somebody attacks you, hurt them, they crack their head or something. You know.
Yeah.
Then you have to live with that.
Yeah.
You know.
That's wild.
Unless it's like a life and death thing, and you have to do it. You have to do it.
Yeah. Tell me about the because I imagine it's a lot of kids, right, in class.
Yeah, sometimes it's a lot. Sometimes it's in the middle.
Yeah, so I have two young boys, right?
Okay.
They're almost 9 and 4.
Beautiful.
And they are full of energy.
Love it.
Like it's like I compare them to, like, you know how when hot air meets cold air and forms a tornado? That's when the two of them are together. Okay. So like I feel like something like this would probably be super beneficial for a kid like that that's got tons of energy.
Tons. Yeah, the best.
Yeah.
The best. Sometimes I'll have parents, oh, can you help my son? I don't think you can help him. You know, like they don't believe that they can do it at that moment, you know, because they don't see it.
Sure.
You know, but I bring them on the mat. And I show them a lot of love and a lot of respect, but they also have to listen.
Right.
Yeah, I don't accept them fooling around. They have to stand straight. On the mat, I have dots on the floor every 3 feet. They have to stand on that spot where I put them.
Yeah.
And they have show respect, the yes sensei, all the traditional, you know, protocols of martial arts. But it's the structure that helps them. Doesn't mean we don't have fun.
Right.
We have fun. We hit the bag. We do things that are fun, but it's in a structured way, in a safe way, so they don't get hurt. At the end of the class, I give them a game, but a fitness game.
Yeah.
So it's a game. They love the game, but it's some kind of fitness that they have to do. And then somebody wins. And I teach them about, you know, teamwork. I teach them about you can't always win. Sometimes you win, sometimes you learn. Right? I teach them about not crying if they lose, you know, because they're kids. Sometimes they want to cry or they get upset. So I teach them those lessons. On the wall of our academy, we have 5 principles that I teach them. Seek perfection of character. That's number 1. Be sincere and honest. Show strong spirit. Practice courtesy. Control bad temper. So at the end of class, they recite it. Whoever's the highest level student in the class, the highest belt, they recite it, and the other students repeat it. So we do that.
That's great.
We're trying to help them have character development. You know, it's not all about fighting, even though they gain the skill of self-defense, but, you know, physical fitness, to be healthy, how to eat, you know, take care of yourself, how to be respectful to your parents, your teachers, which is also important, right? If you can't, what you learn in martial arts, you have to take it outside and use it in a way that's beneficial.
Yeah.
You know, helpful to others.
I love that. It sounds like such a positive, like a really positive.
Yeah, that's my dream. That's what I really want to do. Is I want to impact the community. That's a dream of mine. You know, it's not about being the richest. It's about who can you help. Say, well, I want people's life to be better because they knew me, right? Even in a small way.
Yeah.
You know, reinforce what the parents are doing. You know, because we can't take the parents' place, but if we could reinforce what they're teaching them.
Right.
You know,
or kind of open the door to some things
True.
that parents can be
Absolutely.
exposing to their kids. Because
Yeah.
I just, my kids being in school, I meet a lot of different parents.
Right.
And there's a lot of things that are not taught to kids that should be.
That is true, yeah.
So getting it from an external, and I always feel like even my kids, when they hear it from mom and dad, it's like, nah,
Yeah,
you know,
they
but when they
dismiss
hear
it.
it from a different authority figure, whether it's a teacher
Right.
or a police officer or a sensei,
Right.
they almost like retain it a a little bit better because
Yeah.
they're like, oh, I don't want to.
Yeah.
I don't
The
wanna
parents,
step
wait
on.
a minute, I said that to you already.
Yeah, right.
Why didn't you listen to me?
It happens all the time.
Happens all the time, yes.
But that's good. But that's a great place for kids to be able to go and do that. And, you know, I think if, you know, the way that you're helping the community is great. I know you work with kids and adults, but, you know, it starts with kids because kids become the adults.
That's our foundation.
Right?
Yeah.
The kids that you're working with now are going to be the adults down the line.
And it goes fast.
Yeah.
It
Do you
goes
have
fast.
you being in business as long as you have you seen, you know, kids become adults in your studio? Yeah.
Yeah, in military, and I have a young lady working with me now who's a Air Force captain
Okay.
who's back, and she's teaching at our place.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And she's
yeah,
a great
that's
role model and everything like that. So
That's awesome. No, it sounds like a really positive environment, which I love that. What about so just a little bit more on like the business side of things.
Yeah.
So how big is your team? I know you said you have somebody that just came back, but who's
let me see. It's mostly I do majority of the teaching.
You do? Okay.
Yeah, but I do have about three instructors.
okay?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Good. You have one guy, professional. He does the jujitsu. He does kickboxing, does Krav Maga. He comes on Wednesday and he teaches for me, and he's a great guy.
Nice.
Know him for a long time.
Is that like the heavier stuff? Is that like the more advanced, like
I think more for like the adults.
Adults, gotcha.
Yeah. But he does do the kids jujitsu, and the kids are great. They're doing good.
Nice, okay.
You know, I do it on Monday, and he does it on Wednesday.
Okay.
Gives me a little chance to recover a little bit.
yeah, seriously, yeah.
And then I have my guy Steven, who's there with me all the time, and Jana, who's the Air Force captain I
Yeah.
tell you about.
Yeah.
I have Moned, one of the parents, and have another fellow, Julian, who always helps me. You know, good people.
That's good.
You know,
Yeah.
people I know well. I know that children are going to be safe.
Yeah.
You know, because it's important too. You know.
Well, yeah, especially as a parent
Yeah.
with kids, when I leave my kids somewhere for an hour, however long it is, I want to make sure that I know that
Yeah,
they're going to be all
they're-
right.
Yeah, you could trust them.
Yeah.
So all these guys I could trust with my kids.
Yeah.
Even though my kids are big now, but
Yeah.
I would trust them, and I know that they will be okay.
Yeah, that's really good. How important do you think that's been in just being able to be around as long as you've been, to have people around you that can kind of help? And
Oh my gosh, you can't do everything by yourself, you know. And then it's that trust factor. I mean, we're working with children. They're priceless. You know what I mean? It's not like okay, you're in a donut shop and you get almost anybody to do that.
Yeah.
I'm not putting that business down.
Sure.
Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying that when you're working with human beings, and especially children, you can't play. There's no room for error.
Yep.
You have to make sure they're safe, they're taken care of. Nothing's going to happen to them. They're going to learn, and they're going to be encouraged and strengthened, and that's it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
And that's for me. I have kids, I have family. I don't want anybody hurting my family. So if they bring them to me, they got to be safe, and whoever's with me, same. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
Safety is first before anything else.
yeah, especially in a physical, like there's contact.
Oh yeah.
Right. So it's not like, it's not like you're playing golf, right? This is a contact sport, right?
Absolutely,
So,
And then even on that, even the words we use, we can build someone up, or we can destroy someone too with our words.
yeah.
So how we speak to someone, how we train a child or an adult.
Yeah. Sometimes you got to train the adults more than the kids, I would imagine.
No, they're
in
pretty
some
good.
things.
No,
Really?
That's
good.
They're pretty good.
That's good.
They're all great. They want to be there, and
Yeah.
of course, there's always challenges in life, but you work around it.
Yeah. So take me back 23 years ago.
When I started.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. So before I started, I was teaching about 15 years at another place.
Okay. Wow. So you've been in this.
I've been teaching a long time. And
yeah.
my first certification in like teacher certification was from Long Island University in 1989 or something like that. That was a special program of sports science that they had in Brooklyn. So we did that for 2 years. And then I also have the 2 degrees in business also.
Okay.
And then I worked, besides teaching, I worked in sales and sales management for a major food manufacturer. So
good skill to have.
Yeah, good skill, great job, you know. I left that, not because it was bad. It was a good job. But I wanted to do something more. I really loved teaching and helping people, and it was like a passion. And I loved the martial arts. I loved that skill and sharing it with people. So I opened the school. I had borrowed money from my house.
Okay.
That's how I did it.
All right.
So I said, okay, let's take another mortgage and let's open it up. And it was, of course, very frightening because you're leaving a job that pays you well, and now you're cutting that off to open something that's giving you nothing.
Correct.
You know what I mean? And you have to build it and you have to do all this stuff. So it was very frightening, to be honest. Very frightening. But thank God, it worked out.
Yeah.
And people came and we did it.
Yeah. I feel like that want and desire to teach people is, number one, I think makes a really good salesperson. So, and to be a good entrepreneur, I think you have to have some sales ability and some teachability. Yes. And, but that I'm sure is what helped.
Definitely, because there's a business skills. You need it.
Yeah,
you need it.
Can't be taught. I think that it's like you can't read it in a book, like right?
No, you can't. I mean, I have 2 degrees in business, but it's what you learn on the job.
100%. Absolutely,
it's what you learn on the job.
Absolutely, I learned way more in my first year of selling that provided me more value for the future than what I could learn in a classroom for 4 years.
Right, and I don't like to, and I have to sell something that I believe in.
Yeah,
I don't like to be out here. Okay, let me try to get this person to do something.
Right.
Sometimes the parents bring a child that's too young. I like to start them at 5. Once in a while, they could start younger if they're able to follow.
Yeah.
But I don't want to take somebody's money. If they, let me just get the money and whatever, I'll put them in the corner. No, you don't do that. You have to bring value. I don't want somebody's money if I'm not bringing value.
Sure.
Because it's not right.
And it's not going to last long. Let's
no, it's
be
not.
honest,
And
right?
it's not fair. It's not fair.
Absolutely.
But sometimes I say, okay, bring them back next year. The person develops a little bit more maturity. They can handle. Then they can do it.
Right.
And then they do. They bring them back, and then just fine.
Yeah.
And then sometimes you have a kid 3.5. Like my daughter, she was 3.5, and she was able to do.
And it's crushing it, yeah.
Yeah, she was able to do it. But the girls seem to develop a little faster.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that is true, what they say? Yeah,
definitely.
Okay. They mature a little quicker.
Yeah, you see them in the class standing straight. The boys are fooling around.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah, that makes sense.
But the girls are pretty amazing.
That's cool. No, that's good. Yeah. That's good. Yeah, that's kind of like, it's reality, I think.
It's reality, yeah, it is. Then we catch up.
Yeah, sure. We take a little while, but eventually we catch up, right?
Yeah, we catch up.
That's funny. So, like, in that time that you started it with nothing,
yes,
to where you're at now, what do you think has been one of the biggest things that's led you to be able to thrive and keep going and growing?
Well, definitely the support of my family. My wife also is a business person. She helped me a lot in those early years, getting going and helping with the business part and doing the accounting and all that. So that was also very helpful. Staffing and all that is always hard at first,
Sure.
Now I kind of have it. After all these years, now I kind of understand.
You figured it out.
Yeah, but it was tough.
Okay.
It's tough, going through people that don't work out exactly the way you want. So I'm very particular now, whoever I have with me.
Yep.
It has to be somebody I know well, and usually from the student base or a parent or
Oh, sure.
Yeah, because I don't trust too many people.
No, that's and especially you should in your
in that business
work,
you can't.
You can't. Yeah.
You can't. You have to have
Especially today, man.
You have to have it on lockdown. You have to make sure everybody is well vetted.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, again, just going back to that safety with kids thing. I mean, you have to.
You can't play.
So, so your wife was a big cheerleader for you.
Oh my gosh,
support?
yeah. You, when your family's behind you, you can accomplish anything. And then going back to even my parents, how much they supported me as a kid and doing all the things I was doing in martial arts or with art. They were always, there supporting me. I try to do that for my kids. My wife supports me and helps me, gets me through all this stuff. It's hard to be alone, man. To do it alone is hard.
And a lot of times you do feel like you're alone.
Oh my gosh, right? Yeah. Yeah, it's a hard business. It's not easy. Physically, also on your body.
Yeah, that's the other end of it.
That's the other end of it. You know,
just I'm just talking about like, you know, business ownership in general,
yes.
and doing things on your own. Even though it's, you know, having support is awesome, right? Having people you can rely on, whether it's spouse or friends, that kind of understanding can kind of help you along. But you know, a lot of business owners that I talk to say, you know, it's lonely at the top. Like it's lonely because not many people understand or have done or can do what you're trying to do.
Yeah, there's a few people that can do it. It's hard, man. It's hard because you're not always on top. Mm-hmm. You know, and he goes up, he goes down.
Oh yeah.
You know. Like, oh my goodness, did I make the right decision? And you know.
Yeah. You know. And the thing is too, like the decisions that you make when you have a team don't affect just you anymore.
Everybody.
Now they affect other people's lives
and their family
and livelihoods and their family and their living situation, and it's a lot
a lot of pressure
it's a lot of pressure
is on me, right?
Absolutely. It's a very real thing that I don't think is talked about a lot, and I think it should be.
Yeah, it's not, because when people try to like portray this, I don't know, big boss,
like glamorous, like, you know.
No, we need each other, man. You know, I have people helping me with different things. You know, I'm pretty well versed in how to do everything.
Yeah.
You know,
especially in the beginning, you got to learn. You have to learn. You have to learn,
right? But I don't have to love everything. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I'll delegate things to certain people. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's another theme that comes up all the time. Is, you know, in the beginning, especially, you got to do everything. You got to wear all the hats. You have to learn how to do, you know, from doing the teaching, which is the thing that you were signed up for. That's the thing that you love to do the most. To now, I have to go and make sure that my taxes are paid.
Yeah, right.
And making sure all this other crap that
pesky detail
comes along with it, right? That like, hey, they don't tell you, you know.
Yeah.
No, that's really good. What's your favorite part about working for yourself?
I love that freedom. I love the freedom. I mean, you're free and you're not free, you know. And in one sense you're free, in another sense you're not. But in the sense of freedom that I do go there early, but I could go a little bit later if I want. But I'm there, and I love to be there. Right? If I'm there and there's no classes going on, I'm painting, or I'm doing book stuff, you know, accounting or social media, whatever. But I'm there, and I have the space, I have the studio, you know. So I change it up, you know. Okay, I'm gonna make a painting, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do that. I'll make an event, and I'll do an art class for the kids. I'll change it up. I'll do a summer camp, you know, just changing and keeping it interesting.
Yeah.
You know, so, but the favorite thing really is I could have a hard day, but when I see those kids and they're so happy, you know. Little girl the other day, 8 years old, she goes, "Sensei, you're doing a really great job." Little girl, she told me like that.
Out of the blue?
Out of the blue. And I'm like, wow, that was so nice to hear that, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. She told me like if she was an adult, she goes, "You're doing a really great job." And how she talks, you know, like, what?
Yeah.
I said, "Well, you're doing a great job.
That's great.
You're a great student, you know."
That's awesome.
You know,
that's so cool.
They lift me up, those beautiful kids, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's why I go to work.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, that's great. And you know, just going back to the freedom is great, but the freedom can also kill you if you don't do the things you're supposed to do. And
you have to have discipline. You have to get up. You have to go do it.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah,
you have to be there every day. I mean, I work 5 days a week. I can't handle more than that.
That's the other side of that coin, is that you have to also be able to shut it off.
Yeah, and you learn, and you make so many mistakes. And I made so many mistakes, you know, going through, you know, working too much and hurting myself and doing all these things.
Right.
So then you adjust and you learn. Mm-hmm. And then you try to, you know, delegate to other people to do certain things.
Yep.
You know, you can't do everything.
No, you can't. And it's, you know, if you're a control freak, like I am, I'm better. Like way better now than I was, but if you're like,
I'm definitely a control freak, but I have to train myself not to be.
Absolutely, of course. Otherwise, you're not going to grow.
You train yourself, because otherwise you're trying to control everything.
Yeah, you will never grow,
and you don't grow, and you make yourself crazy.
Yeah, so and you burn out, and then you start to hate the thing that you're
supposed to love.
That you're supposed to love, right? And that's not where you want to be. And I think that's where a lot of burnout comes from. That's where a lot of, you know, businesses fail. It's that like, I'm going to go start a business doing the thing that I love to do, and then they get in and it's like, now I hate this thing that I used to love.
Yeah, it ruins it.
And then it ruins it. Yeah. It makes it sour, and you know, that happened to me a little bit with because I'm a musician. I play guitar. I'm a guitar player. I used to teach. So I'm like you. I love teaching and I love giving advice and helping people and doing all that. And
I could feel that.
I love teaching guitar. It was one of my favorite things to do. But I was a player, so by the time I was done teaching, the last thing I want to do is pick the thing up to practice,
right,
or write or do. And it was like, okay, I don't like this anymore, and it sucks, because like that was the thing. I lived for that, but I got burnt out on it.
Yeah, it could happen.
It happens.
It happens all the time.
It definitely happens. So like really walking that line, and I think setting up those boundaries are really important.
Right.
To saying like, like I wake up and I love getting up in the morning. I don't have the Sunday scaries anymore, any of that crap when I used to work in corporate America that I used to get all the time. It's a different kind of scary when you're trying to take risks and grow and do all these things, but it's different when you're doing it for yourself versus when you're doing it for somebody else that can, at the drop of a hat, say goodbye.
Right.
Yeah,
it makes sense.
So it's not for everybody, but it's
not
very rewarding when you can.
Yeah, I love it, man. I love it. I'll do it as long as I can.
Yeah, like I said, it's if you love doing it and your job is very physically demanding too, but that's good. It keeps you fit, keeps you
moving.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it keeps you moving.
Absolutely. It's funny, actually, the interview right before yours was he's a salsa teacher, has a salsa studio,
I love
right?
salsa.
Do you really?
My favorite music.
So I was like, he's, again, like super like fit guy.
A musician or a dancer?
Dancer. He runs a dance studio.
Wow. Around here?
Yeah. Over in Orange County.
Oh, that's awesome.
I'm like, how physical is that? He's like, dude, I'm like drenched by the end of the class.
Wow.
I'm like, that's good. If you can find something that you love to do that keeps you fit. Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was neat. It was a cool. That was like one of my first. That was the first interview with somebody like that on this show. But
wow.
Yeah, but it's cool. So it's definitely the physical aspect of things keeps you young, keeps you fit, keeps you healthy, and I think it's very important. I think especially for kids, like they gotta move. Kids gotta move.
Yeah, they're sitting on the couch a lot, so. You got to get him off that couch.
Or even just in school, right? Like I look at my kid, yes, he gets up, he'll have recess or he'll have gym class or whatever, but it's like, gym is only a couple times a week. Yeah, recess is every day. It's like 20 minutes, half an hour, whatever it is that they get to run around. But like 5-6 hours a day, they're just chilling at a desk or on the floor doing work. And it's like, that's not, I don't know, it doesn't feel right.
Right.
When I see how they actually are when they're not doing that.
Yeah, they need to get that energy out. You got to get moving.
Yeah.
We need to have more of that. I feel like the school had more physical things before.
Okay.
Than now.
Okay.
So I think we need that more.
Yeah, you got to go back to that.
Yeah, we need that more.
Yeah, got to be healthier for sure. Just move.
And have better food in school.
Yeah, that's
another story.
That's a conversation for another day. Yeah. But so if somebody wants to take classes with you or learn more about your martial arts school, how can they do that? Where can they contact you? All that good stuff.
They could call us at our number and 914-241-0222. They could look at the website martikarate.com, or they could look at it on social media too.
Cool. Yep.
Yeah. No, I'm happy to, and we give them a free lesson to try it out.
Beautiful.
Got a 2-week trial.
Nice. Okay, and you said 5 and up.
5 and up.
All right. Beautiful.
5 and up.
All right, yeah. So my little guy in August will be ready to.
Yay!
That kid'll be kids trying to break boards now. So like,
right. Yeah, no, 5 is cool. I love that age. Yeah,
it's good to start them that age.
5 is great.
They're like moldable, right? At that point,
they're great, and they're so smart. Children are smart, man. They're so smart. When we go over like the principles of karate and we talk to them about character, what does that mean? Then I teach them about discipline. What does discipline mean? Do what needs to be done when it needs to be done without anyone telling you to do it. But I teach them at 5 years old. What is self-control? Self-control. Do what is right, not what you feel like doing. Right? I give them little things, and I tell them, what does this mean? Oh, it means this. What does this mean? What is discipline? Oh, clean up your room before your mother tells you to. That's an example. Mm-hmm. Right? So again, reinforcing what the parents are doing, trying to make them better human beings in the future. Mm-hmm. So that's really the thing, Make them better human beings.
I love that. Yeah. That's good, man. That's a great mission for your business and what you do, and that's beautiful.
Yeah, that's what I love.
I love it, man. I love it. Well, thanks so much for coming on.
Man,
so
enjoy,
it's
man.
martikarate.com
Yeah,
is the
Marti,
website?
M-A-R-T-I.
M-A-R-T-I, right? Okay, cool.
Awesome.
Is that same on social? They can find you on social?
Marti Martial Arts Academy on social, yeah.
All right, beautiful. All right, cool, man. Anything else you want to share before we
No, man, I appreciate the time I spent with you, and thank you.
This is great, man. Thank you very much for coming on.
My pleasure.
All right.
Thank you.